Hello, everyone. I'm Miranda, and this is Nick.
Wait.
Welcome back for another Rants on the Rocks episode. This time, we're covering Louis Theroux's Inside the Manosphere.
Uh-huh.
And oh boy, was it a doozy to watch. So grab your rocks and let's dive right in.
There you go. I like that.
Yeah. So, the full, I guess like the full title on Netflix is Louis Theroux, Inside the Manosphere, but
Okay.
everybody knows it as Inside the Manosphere.
Okay.
It's a documentary that was directed by Adrian Choa, I believe is how you say that last name.
Okay.
It was released globally on Netflix on March 11th, 2026, so it's pretty new. In an interview with Wired, Louis Theroux explains his reasoning for taking on this subject for his documentary as being drawn to the pervasiveness and how influential these people are, specifically to young viewers, but also there's an added challenge of having the people that he's interviewing also use him and his film crew as their own content. He also says that it's kind of like taking on a final boss. Quote, he said, "I've been circling this subject for years. It combines cult-like groupings, misogyny, adult content, creation of pornographic content, and obviously racism. All these taboo areas of life that I've spent my TV work documenting in different forms come together in the Manosphere."
Okay.
And in a Netflix article, he states that there are, again, quote, "3 key aspects to this part of the Manosphere: wealth, fitness, and sexual prowess, which is very reductive. It's almost like primate behavior. You need to be an alpha who gets all the women and all the food. If you happen to be a skinny, bespectacled older primate who's maybe not handy in a scrap, well, then you may as well wither away and die."
Okay.
In the end, a lot of the men he's interviewed have displayed signs of unprocessed trauma, whether it be from abuse or absent fathers, and that trauma has played a large role in these views that they've taken on, particularly the views that uphold their presented warrior ethos, that it's them against the world. And they've taken on an outlook that turned into a survival strategy, and now it's becoming dangerous.
Okay. Do we have, or do you cover, I guess, what his background is? How do you pronounce his name?
Louis Theroux.
Louis Theroux. Do you like what his background is?
No, I mean, I
What do you
didn't
do
go
before this?
no, I didn't
Okay.
go like super far
That's
into
fine.
it. I was going to, and then I got into the documentary, and then it was
Yeah.
like a whole fucking thing.
It's just while we were watching, it seems that when people were talking about him, that he's known for certain things.
Yeah, he's he's a well-known documentarian. Is
Okay.
that how you say it?
Sure. Sounds good.
But yeah, so like he's known for doing I don't know. Everybody was saying that he does like hit pieces and stuff like that.
Okay.
I think it's just like uncovering things,
Right. Yeah, yeah.
essentially,
Okay.
you know? And that does come up later when they talk about like Jimmy Savile and stuff like that too.
Yeah.
Which I will kind of delve
Okay.
into that a little bit.
Got it.
In the documentary, Louis Theroux interviews influencers who are prominent in the Manosphere. So the main ones that happen to show up here are Harrison Sullivan, known as HS Tiki Talkie, Sneeko, Myron Gaines, one of the hosts of the Fresh and Fit podcast, Justin Waller, a Miami-based influencer, and Ed Matthews, known online as Ed Matty. The documentary starts out with a montage of guys that are streaming and talking about having done an interview with Louis. And it's kind of funny because they all start off sounding so confident. And then people in their comments are like, "Oh, you're cooked." And so then they start looking into who he is. And they're like, "Oh, shit, is this a hit piece?" And in the voiceover, Louis explains that he noticed the rise in male influencers that were preaching about having power, male dominance, making money, etc. And he became more and more intrigued by what was driving it. And although they're largely suspicious of mainstream media, he found a way into the Manosphere to get an inside look.
Okay.
So starting in, I think it's Marbella, Spain, the first influencer he meets with is HS Sullivan, or HS Tiki Taki. Harrison Sullivan or HS Tiki Taki, whatever, stupid fucking name.
HS Tiki Taki.
Yeah, at his home in Marbella, Spain. Immediately, Louis is met with a camera in his face as well, albeit a smaller one, for HS's own content creation. And inside the home, HS introduces a woman in a pink swimsuit as his dishwasher. And then the other two males introduced themselves as fans of HS's that either won giveaways or were flown out by him, assumingly to work on content together. And he's become famous online for promoting his views on how to gain wealth, power, and women. And he says that it's coaching boys how to be boys, not to be soy boy gimps. That was a direct quote from him.
Teaching boys to be boys, not boys to be men?
Yeah, teaching them how to be boys and not soy boys.
What is a soy boy? Oh, okay.
I don't know.
Okay.
Soon enough, though, they head over to the gym, an outdoor gym, to film a workout video. And Louis describes HS's social media platforms as a gateway to his Telegram platform, which is where he promotes OnlyFans models, as well as advertisements to sign up to additional apps to receive tips on how to achieve financial success, insinuating that his followers will achieve the same level of success that he has. And he definitely operates on like a base level of hypocrisy. And it's just rampant throughout the whole fucking documentary. Because he says that he doesn't agree with OnlyFans or pornography. He thinks it's disgusting. It's not something that he would ever want his daughter to do.
So why are you promoting it?
Yeah, but then he turns around and promotes it on his platforms, and he bought a talent agency that manages OnlyFans models. So he's fine with it as long as he's making money. It's just incredibly... Sorry, I'm trying not to get riled up. But it's incredibly ironic how hypocritical he is because, like, then he starts talking about his mom, and it sounds like she's a good person. He describes her as, like, hating racism and sexism, homophobia, and he's like, she would slap me if she ever heard me speak like that. And, like, honestly, I wish she would. But anyway, the following day...
Okay.
HS's team had posted a video showing Louis interviewing him with the camera crew and like at the gym and stuff. And people in his comments were telling him that it was going to be a hit piece. So when Louis shows up at his house to continue their interview, HS is quite standoffish. But
feels like a target probably.
Yeah. But then he quickly points out that he has a video of a girl giving him head in the club the night before. And he boasts that she allowed him to film it for clout. But the whole interaction is still like super awkward because you can tell that he has his guard up towards Louis now.
Right.
Regardless, they still go out and meet up with Ed Matthews with a plan to maybe hit up a yacht party later on in the day. And along the way, they stop at a punch machine to make some content. And like, I feel like this Ed Matthews dude, he just looks like he's on drugs, but that's just me. Like he has crazy eyes. Anyway, his content is largely made up of fitness, talking to girls on the street, and sting operations. Most recently, he made one guy that they set up eat dog food when they caught him. And so basically they'll go online and set up like what they call sting operations with these older guys that I guess they make it seem like they're going to meet up for dates or whatever. And then they just like humiliate them and post it online.
Is this like pedophiles or is this just like...
That's the thing where I'm like, I don't know, because like obviously nobody's in favor of them. So, you know, not going to say that like... going to defend them. But the thing is that he's like, oh, the humiliation of it lasts forever and this is so much worse than going to jail. And it's like, I just feel like you guys are going to get very out of control with this, like very quickly. Because one, you're not trained on how to do any of this properly. You're not doing it properly. Like, I mean, If it's not an actual situation like that, like you could be putting everybody in very dangerous situations.
Course. Yeah, when you take that into your own hands. I mean, for the right reasons. Like I've seen videos.
Oh,
and like,
absolutely.
I've seen videos in the States of people like doing I guess they are stings or whatever, but like their little sister or whatever is like talking to somebody online, and it's it's obviously it's wrong, right? It's pedophile, and they lure them to whatever, and then they do whatever, right? Either they scare them or they hurt them or whatever, but it's very dangerous because like I get it, absolutely get it, but with stuff like this, like these people, like you're kind of
don't like it.
You're crossing that line to where like the videos that I've seen, it kind of it makes sense, I guess, because it's very clear what's happening. You have it in black and white, but what they're doing is just like
I feel like they're just setting people up for ambushing, and that's it.
They're
like,
just so
if
that's
you
the thing,
do an
though.
actual investigation, like you find out that for sure this is what it is, then that makes sense. But I think that it would be very easy for them to skip some steps in there.
And I think the biggest difference clearly is that one, even though the people that are doing it, like the ones that I've seen in the States at least, they are recording it, right? But it's not for, what is it, clout? Or it's not for
that's
followers.
the thing, is that they're doing it. They're getting their followers all riled up. Their followers are riling them up. It turns into a whole thing. That's what I'm saying. I don't agree with how they're doing it.
I think that's the difference, is that they're doing it for clout, and other people that I've seen are actually doing it for a message.
Yes, exactly. I don't think they're doing it just for the sake of like keeping people safe.
Exactly.
Like
they're doing it for fucking content.
Exactly. So while they're watching this video, he tells him like, oh, the humiliation's going to last forever. I think this is worse than going to jail. And Louis kind of stops and like looks like he wants to respond to that. But before he can, there's these guys in the background that are like yelling, asking if Louis is a pedo. Luckily, though, Ed Matty quickly turns around and he's like, no, he's not. Like, don't get it twisted, which Louis quickly thanks him for, which, he's like, appreciate that, which was nice because, again, like, that's what I'm saying in situations like this where you're known for, like, attacking people like that in public. Somebody just comes up and talks to you and you have followers that are immediately like, oh, that's a pedo. They're waiting to beat somebody's ass.
Why did they think he was a pedophile?
Because that's what Ed Matty does.
Oh, okay.
He sets people up for these sting operations and then attacks. That's what I'm saying is the problem. That like you see how people that watch you react to how you are just talking to somebody.
Yeah.
That's a problem.
Yeah, absolutely.
Big fucking problem.
But also like obviously that's a major misread of the situation because like he has his own fucking filming crew.
Yeah.
Like why would
I know, but that's what I'm saying is that like it's the problem with how it's presented and then how the followers are just eating it up.
Yeah.
Like yeah. So at this point, HS isn't really around anymore. So Louis just spends the night with Ed while they're walking the streets and talking to women. And soon enough, he starts getting approached by more male fans. And at the end of the night, HS lets Louis know, like after they've come back together, that he needs to take a last-minute trip to Dubai. So he thanks him for his time, and they all just go their separate ways.
Okay.
But in the following days, HS starts posting several videos, seemingly in response to all of the comments about Louis' presence. And he's clearly getting a bit paranoid about how he may be portrayed in the documentary. So
Portrayed accurately?
So either way, Louis starts to take a particular interest in these apps that HS has been promoting on his social platforms. So he starts looking into like the investment groups and broker firms and stuff that he's promoting.
Okay.
And he finds out that they've had awful reviews. And it turns out that HS gets a cut out of everything that gets invested, whether they gain anything or not. So it's great for him, not so much for his fans, but they still keep putting money into it. And then Louis goes ahead and invests £500 too.
This is why I don't, and I was going to wait till the end, but I can't hold it in anymore. This is why I don't believe in cancel culture. Because the people that should be fucking canceled, that should be just fucking cut off from the world, don't. They get rich, right? That's fucking crazy to me. Like, as you get deeper in this documentary, that just becomes more and more obvious.
You see why it was hard to get through.
You know what I mean? Because like
Yes.
the people that should, that's why like it's cancel culture. Cancel culture is bullshit because like the ones that should be canceled aren't.
Yeah.
And that's fucking crazy to me. Anyways.
I agree. All right. Next, Louis heads over to Miami, where he meets with Justin Waller, a businessman and success coach from Baton Rouge, Louisiana.
Oh, okay. That's Tristan Tate's homeboy, right?
Yes, the guy that always
Tate
wears
brothers?
the suits. Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Yep. Yeah, that's what I was
Okay.
going to say. Coming up here, I guess,
Okay.
somewhere. He says that he gives the best advice that he can to young men. Unfortunately,
now
though,
we're on to men. Okay.
yes. Unfortunately, though, a lot of it is ice and misguided was probably the nicest way to phrase it.
Okay.
But at the end of the day, I think this dude is performative as fuck. So they're filming, right? And he gets out of his Lamborghini that he made sure to get a nice shot of when he pulled in. And he got out all cool with this nice suit. And then he goes up to Louis and he says, I want to be clear that that car is not success. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. And like, if you're going to be humble, be humble. But what you're doing right now is
Here's the
performing
exact-
for the camera.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
And it's funny though, because Louis is like, well, let's not make a big deal out of it then.
Yeah. You're
And
the one that called it out.
exactly.
Okay.
Well, he's like, oh no, just on the record. I just want to be clear because I don't. That's all. Yes, sir. And I'm like, shut the fuck up. You're shut up. God. Ugh, every time he spoke, he was so annoying.
Good.
So
Okay.
he tells Louis that he left his phone upstairs, so they head on up to Justin's apartment, which he calls his small space. And he says that his other home is more family friendly, but then when Louis asks about like how many kids he has, he's like, oh, I've got some. But he does end up saying that he has two
Yeah, he has
daughters.
two, okay.
And while he is with their mother, they're not married. And he describes their relationship as one-sided monogamy, which is that the mother of his children doesn't speak to other men, but he's free to do as he wishes.
Okay.
And Louis just kind of looks at him like he's waiting for more of an explanation. And Justin starts getting defensive about it because he's like, oh, people always get mad at me for this. And he's like, I don't promote it, though. I don't believe that every man should go out and have a bunch of women or have his wife have threesomes with his girlfriends, which is something he does because he refuses to hide those women from his baby mama.
Okay.
And now Justin's claim to fame is his online school, which is the real world, and his Telegram group where he sells the subscription to his followers. This school was set up alongside the infamous Tate brothers, Andrew and Tristan.
Yeah.
And I don't mean that in a good way. The Tate brothers have criminal cases pending in both Romania and Britain, including charges for rape, assault, and human trafficking, dating all the way back to 2012.
Pending?
Yeah.
They're actually pending? Oh, okay.
They're
Because they were
fucking
released.
disgusting.
They were in prison and then they were released.
Yeah, well, I read recently that they were on like house arrest and stuff like that, and it just got lifted. And I guess like if they leave, then they're going to be extradited back to Britain or something like that.
Because they're in Dubai.
I know I read a few different things.
They're in Dubai right now.
So I don't know, but they have charges pending in both places. There's still criminal investigations happening. Either way, they're fucking disgusting.
Do we know if Dubai is how do you say this, non-extradition place?
I wouldn't be surprised if
That's maybe that's why they went to Dubai.
I
I always
mean,
wondered.
Yeah,
But-
Dubai's not great either.
Because I thought they
so
started
wouldn't
out.
be
I thought they were in
surprised.
Miami for a while. I thought they were like. I thought they were in
Yeah.
the States. And then all of a sudden, like I saw on social media, like they were in they bought property in Dubai or some shit.
Probably.
But
Yeah.
maybe that's why, so they can't get extradited. I don't know.
Probably. I wouldn't be surprised. Anyway, in Justin's online school, he tells his followers that their professors are multimillionaires and they're going to teach them all how to become multimillionaires as well. So there's 3 different subscription levels. The first is the Earn tier, which is $49 a month. And subscribers get to choose one business model. They get daily live broadcasts, real-time course updates. They can have 3 connected devices and community access.
Okay.
And the Prosper tier is $69 a month. It includes everything in Earn, plus 1 extra business model, priority support, 5 connected devices, and exclusive workshops.
Okay.
And the Conquer tier is $99 a month, which includes everything previously mentioned, as well as 9 plus extra business models, VIP account ranking, 7 connected devices, and early access to new content.
Okay.
And
what's the site called?
It's the Real World. I didn't look at the fucking website.
Okay.
I just looked at what was on there. I'm not giving them.
I'm just curious to see like what.
Well, I took that straight from what was on the
Yeah.
documentary. But either way, Justin gets a cut of every subscription from his Telegram group.
Okay.
And he explains that he found Andrew Tate on YouTube and he loved what he had to say so much because Andrew was saying the things that Justin had been saying for a long time, particularly about the social facade of men and women wanting to be equals in relationships. And he believes that men want to be the hero who creates the best possible life for him and his woman. So they go to get tea, and they end up being approached by 2 of Justin's followers, Chris and Maddie, who Justin then invites to join them for tea. And the guys immediately are like, oh my God, we're big fans. We watch all his videos. We watch the Tate brothers too. They're such an inspiration to us.
Oh, God.
Just fucking losers. And so they start talking about the messaging in those videos, which they believe is to never give up because they believe that males are born without value. So they have to build that value. And they think...
Just males?
Yep. They think that because they're born without value, they have to work hard to get money and become valuable. And this is where Justin pipes up and says that they believe that a woman's value is in their beauty. So they don't have to work as hard. And they think that because a beautiful woman can be noticed and immediately be invited to go for a ride in a fancy car or on a boat, that they inherently have more value, that they don't have to work for anything. Because that's every girl's dream, is to get invited to go sit alone in a car or on a boat with a random man.
That's fucking wild.
Yes. So
What a wild belief.
yeah.
Okay.
So Justin goes on to say that nobody's going to fly these men out. Nobody's going to pamper them because they don't have value like that. So these men want to be praised and pampered by other men. They want to be women. And Justin says, quote, he has to create value in the world. He has to be valuable to other men. Otherwise, nobody cares.
Whoa.
I said what I said.
Sounds a little...
Sounds like you guys want to be women. And so that's really what it all comes back to in this manosphere, is they all want to show that they're valuable to each other. Okay. They don't actually care about being valuable, like doing something worthwhile in the world, being decent people. As long as their male echo chamber tells them that they're paying attention to them, they're happy.
That was going to be my question, is like the first guy. What was his name? The guy in, what, Spain or whatever?
Oh, HS.
Yeah, HS, Tiki Talk or whatever.
Yeah, Harrison.
Okay, Harrison, whatever. How is he bringing value to anything? Because he doesn't believe in any of it. He's just doing it just to make money. So, like, how are you bringing value to the world when
he has money?
You're just shitting on the women that you're promoting, right?
But he has money.
That's what I'm saying, though. You're not bringing value to the world.
No, that's his value, is his money.
Oh, yeah, that's not how it works. But yeah, that's okay. Well,
it's all part of the red pill ideologies that get pushed in these circles. And that term stems from the movie The Matrix. And it symbolizes seeing the truth in the world and breaking free from the comfortable illusion that's been portrayed by the mainstream media. And the red pill community is rife with misogyny, and more often than not, racism and bigotry. They believe that there are alpha males who are dominant and attractive, and beta males who are submissive to women. And they believe that all women really want alpha males, whereas they just want to use the beta males for all that they can. Essentially, the red pill is seen as the antidote against feminism because men are oppressed in this feminist society. Our feminist society where our reproductive rights are being taken away and pedophiles and rapists are running the government. You're right. Unfortunately, though, because the males are lonely, it's easy for them to be targets for this kind of messaging. And so they typically isolate themselves and delve into these online communities that spew this hateful rhetoric. And then they turn around and bring that shit out into the real world. And then they wonder why they're lonely. And even more unfortunately, due to social media, these online communities are becoming larger and more well-known. And they're even being given more platforms to speak out publicly.
What platforms?
Like their podcasts and shit like
Oh,
that.
okay, got it.
Which leads me into the next guy. Louis then heads over to meet with Myron Gaines, one of the hosts of the Fresh and Fit podcast.
This fucking guy.
I literally said, this dude, ... I don't know why I picked this fucking documentary. My blood pressure is high now.
Oh God! But it ends kind of well though, when you get there.
Yeah,
because you know.
Well, in the first clip that we're shown of him, he repeats the same view that men are not born with value while women are. And a woman in response asks how women are born with value, and he's like, "You have a vagina and titties. You literally have value. If y'all want to be women, just fucking say that."
Yeah, I guess so.
Go get you a vagina and some titties and then sit down and shut the fuck up. And I say that because of his views, not mine. Because he believes that women should not be able to vote, shouldn't be in the military or in law enforcement. He believes that he gets to decide when he gets to have sex with women. And he, like Justin, preaches the one-sided monogamy lifestyle. And so now Myron takes Louis to his apartment/studio where they film the podcast. And when asked about where he actually lives, Myron says that Louis can see that space once his girlfriend arrives and cleans it up. And before their interview, Myron sets up a camera to record for his own safety in case Louis wanted to twist anything he had to say. And so Louis begins asking Myron about some controversial things that he's said in the past. The first being from a podcast episode where Myron says, "I dictate when I put my dick in you, bitch,"
Jesus.
About women.
That's rape.
And Louis asks him if he really believes that. And he's like, "Oh, well, if she's on her period, not right now, like then that's fine. But I need men to have this leader mindset." So being a leader is being a rapist.
That's why a lot of the people in this community have criminal cases.
Yeah.
Because of this fucking mindset.
Yeah. So he preaches that men need to be dominant. They need to be dictators. But when Louis asks if he considers himself a misogynist, he says no, because that would mean that he hates women. And I would like to say that you do, but all right, let's fucking hear what you got to say.
Like you do.
Well, he claims to love and understand women, and that's why he believes that he knows what's best. Oh my God. Where have you been all my life?
God.
So when Louis asks if he behaves this way in his own relationship, he says yes. But when asked about a rotation of women, Myron says that he doesn't have a rotation right now, but eventually he'd like to have multiple wives.
Why would anybody be attracted to this piece of shit?
I know. Well, almost immediately after saying that, his girlfriend Angie arrives. And Myron quickly lets Louis know that they can talk to her, but they got to keep it short. And Angie explains to Louis that Myron is not what he portrays online, which is why she's been in a relationship with him for as long as she has. She understands that his online persona isn't real, is essentially what she's saying.
That would go directly against his community. Mm-hmm. His, what did you call it? Warrior ethos? Mm-hmm.
Well, Louis then asks her about the one-sided monogamy, and you can see, literally, watch it, you see Myron's face, twitch.
Oh, yeah.
As Louis is asking Angie about this. And when he asks about the multiple wives in the future, she's like, I don't know. he said that in the past, but I guess we'll see when it happens. And like, you can tell that it's definitely a sore spot for their relationship.
Yeah.
I think that she's made it clear before that she will leave if he does that. And he thinks that he's going to change her mind.
We'll see.
Yeah. Well, Myron quickly jumps in saying, oh, no, it's not going to be anytime soon, though. I'm just focused on working. Like, okay.
He's like in a constant like backstepping.
Yes. He's like
phase.
Doing a fucking, what is it? Like a tango. Like a
and it's weird to see because it's almost like the two personalities, kind of like what she says is like his online personality and then his real personality, right? If you want to call it that, is in like conflict right now because she's standing right there.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? And then he's being interviewed by this.
The second she walks in, he's like, oh shit.
Yes, he's being interviewed by this hit piece person, right? And then you got the girlfriend, and the it's just a huge conflict, and I think that's where like the twitching comes in because he's just torn between the two personalities, and he's just trying to keep the fucking baseline.
Yeah, but I don't know. Well, you know, even Louis though is like, she's already put 2 years into this relationship. Like, you guys can only hold off on this plan that you have for like the multiple wives for so long. So, you know, it's basically like, you need to confront this before you waste more of her time. And when Louis says that, Myron's like, oh, well, I don't know. People change their minds. Like, maybe I'll decide that I don't want multiple wives. And Louis is like, oh, you backtracked already?
Like, see, I just fucking said that.
Yes, exactly. And, you know, in the middle of like basically explaining the irony of it, Myron just hands the dog that he's holding to Angie. And he's like, oh, can you take the dog to the other room and then go clean it? Which like just effectively cutting off their conversation.
Which, I mean, even more so, like, because the personalities are in conflict right now, that's what makes it easier. And just removing her from it.
Exactly.
So then you can go back to your online persona.
Exactly. Yeah. And like, you can just see, he's obviously bothered by the conversation. Louis feels awkward, but then when he's like, oh, was that okay? Myron's like, oh yeah, no, it's fine. It's fine.
I don't think it was.
No, clearly not. And Louis, you know, he's like, well, she's obviously upset about the idea that you want to be with multiple women, but then Myron just like keeps brushing it off. So whatever. Okay. Anyway, back to Justin. So we learn that Justin comes from a poor background, which, you know, he worked his way up after becoming a college football star and started his steel construction company. And then from there, he started going on podcasts and making his own content. And then that's where everything kind of took off.
Steel construction?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It was like the Red Iron Construction. They said it was a steel company or something like that.
Oh, okay.
But so now they're at Justin's main apartment in Miami, where he had recently moved from Baton Rouge. And he did that so that he could build up his social circle with people in Trump's inner circle. And he talks about having been to Mar-a-Lago 4 or 5 times. And when they get up to the room, Louis begins asking him about like the red pill community and the Manosphere. And Justin says that he feels like the world took a wrong turn when it became a problem for men to be strong and masculine because it was called toxic. And then the turn towards feminism. He says that women have been asked to become men essentially to get rid of men. None of which is true, by the way. You know, we're called toxic because you have awful views about gender equality and women in fucking general. Like, women would rather be on their own than have to listen to that bullshit.
Well, you could also argue that, like, their views are, not even argue, but, like, their views are toxic.
That's what I'm saying.
You know what I
that's
mean?
why you're being called toxic.
You're
It has nothing to do with being strong.
You're spreading this toxicity to your fucking, your followers, I guess you can call them that. And it's just fucking spreading it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yikes.
But Justin just doubles down on his views, saying that there's nothing in sight that a woman has built, that everything around them has been built, engineered, and designed by men.
How could you possibly fucking know that?
Oh, what? When Louis questions the truth in that, Justin then triples down and says it is a fact.
So,
but then he tries to come back with the whole, I love women. Where?
But you're looking all over the city and you're like, there's not a thing that a woman has built in sight. Yeah. Like, how the fuck could you know that?
I don't know. But, you know, he says, like, oh, if they want to go and get in those jobs, I totally support that. I totally support it if they want to go out and work. That's fine.
Do you, though?
But he believes that women ultimately want to have a husband and family to care for.
Okay.
Shut up. Oh, God. So later, Louis meets back up with Maddie and Chris, the two fans that they met at the tea place.
Okay.
And he starts asking them about like what they're inspired by from these videos. And while they're talking, Louis notices that Maddie's like steepling at him like he's seen other guys in the Manosphere do. And he like points it out and kind of chuckles about it. But then they go on to start talking about the Matrix and what that means in the Manosphere world. And to them, they describe it as escaping from the 9-to-5 mentality, that they have to go out and build something for themselves and they can't rely on anybody to get them out of that box. And they think that people don't want to see men empowered because it's a threat. And after more talking, Louis learns that Maddie had recently been homeless, living in his car. And he said that he was feeling sorry for himself, but he decided that men are just meant to suffer. They're not meant to be happy. And from that, you know, he can learn more from his failures than from his successes. And so he also throws in that they, which I'm assuming is the Manosphere, they don't believe in depression. And because the average person has all of the tools that they need, so there's no reason for depression.
That's fucking a wild statement.
Yeah. Well, then he chimes in that, you know, his brother died by suicide, but he doesn't believe in depression.
But depression's not real.
And so now, you know, he's got to do whatever he can to become great. It's just so fucking misguided.
Yeah.
Like,
and there's a fuck ton of veterans that suffer from depression every single day. And a lot of them don't make it to see the next day.
Yeah.
And for you to get on your fucking platform and say that depression's not real, you're a piece of shit.
Yeah. Like, there's just so much.
And so is your community.
So much. Oh, I hate it.
I would love to.
I hate it.
I would love to see and I would hate to see the overlap if any vets were part of the Manosphere or whatever, but I would love to see that kind of interaction in like real time, in like real life, the Manosphere talking like that against some vets that are actually suffering from depression. And you're going to stand here and say, oh, just get over it. I will punch you in the fucking mouth.
Yeah, I don't know.
That's wild. That's insane.
I don't know and what that Venn diagram looks like either.
And it's not even just vets, but it's, I mean, so many people.
It's like everybody.
Suffer from
like
depression.
It's a chemical imbalance.
That's
anybody
insane.
can suffer from depression.
It's science.
Like, it's literally. It's, God. Oh, they're just so stupid.
Oh, God.
So back to this dumb fuck Myron. Louis explains that...
That's the podcast one.
Yes.
Okay,
Louis explains that he arranged to have an appearance on the Fresh and Fit After Hours podcast where Myron and his co-host Walter argue with female influencers. And it's deemed to be the most poisonous of all podcasts in the Manosphere.
In the Manosphere.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
And Myron was actually hesitant to have him back after the conversation with Angie, but Louis managed to talk his way back in. Although he quickly puts his foot right back in his mouth because he starts talking to the woman at the front of the studio who's in charge of booking the girls that appear on the show. Her name is Icy. And she's explaining to him that there used to be a lot more dramatic fights when they served alcohol. And while they're in the front talking, Myron is like starting off the podcast episode and everything, but he becomes aware that they're talking out in the front room. So he quickly sends a message to Icy telling her that she needs to stop speaking to him immediately, which she quickly relays to Louis and the film crew.
Because he's going to get some dirt real quick.
Yup, exactly. And, you know, well, before he can even fully react to it, it's his turn to sit in on the remainder of the episode. So in this particular episode of the podcast, they start off speaking with a dating coach and a penis extension expert named Sterling Cooper. I never thought that fucking sentence would come out of my mouth.
Okay.
And now they've included some women to join the episode. And Myron immediately goes in, starting to try and like humiliate and provoke them. He asks them to name 3 countries. Then he pulls up his female delusion calculator. And like, he asks one of the women what her preferences are for men. So it asks like for their height, race, annual income. I think there's some other shit in there. And then it spits out what she that what she desires is actually less than 1% of the population.
Okay.
And he tells her that she needs to lower her standards or she's going to stay single forever.
Okay.
Which, like...
You have a calculator for that.
Well, it's not even just the calculator. Like, this is your fucking problem. They sit here and they talk about how they're so much better than women, how they're so much more dominant and smarter and all these things. But then this woman just wants, all she asked for was a tall black man that made $300,000 a year. And they're like, oh, you need to lower your standards. You're going to stay single forever. Well, why is it her responsibility to lower her standards? Why don't you just get better?
So I disagree with that because I don't feel like a healthy relationship is going to start by you demanding he make a certain amount.
Well, no, obviously that's not.
So you do need to. I do agree that you do need to change your standards, and that's a common thing with a lot of males and females both. They have ridiculous standards. Like, why do you need your significant other or whoever you're trying to find to make $300,000? Right? That's not to say that you need to fucking humiliate this poor woman on your fucking podcast.
No,
but that's
all of it's all very surface level.
100%. Yes, exactly.
Like,
that's the fucking problem.
Yes.
So, okay, hold on. So, what is the purpose of the podcast before we move on? Because I'm kind of confused. What is the purpose of the podcast? Do you know? Did it say?
They just spew their hateful shit.
Oh, okay, so he legit invites people, influencers, people that are coming up and influencing or whatever, right? And then just to humiliate them.
Yeah, they just argue.
Right. Why do people agree to go on this fucking
I don't know!
podcast?
I don't know.
You know what I mean?
That's why I was saying that, like, okay, where is it? Hold on. I actually said it here.
I'm so confused.
So I said, these guys are fucking delusional and just downright stupid. And what's even more frustrating is these women putting themselves here and allowing these pieces of shit to spew their nonsense in their faces. And then they're sitting there actually considering lowering their standards because of this stupid fucking calculator that they made. I just felt so dumb watching this.
I wonder if they're doing it just to get like, not their 15 minutes of fame, but like get on the radar. You know,
100%.
Something like that. That would kind of make sense.
Yeah. So that's 100% what it is. They're all just using each other for clout. I don't know. I talk about it later. Anyway, their loser followers pay to have their comments read on air. So then they do a bit where Myron reads those and asks questions to probably mostly the women. And they start talking about women's body count. And they pull up this stupid ass video of a guy that looks like a fucking robot explaining that a man's semen stays in a woman's body and affects the children that she has with later partners. This is a theory called telegony, and it has been widely scientifically discredited. There has been a study that showed telegonic effect in one very specific species of fly. Fly! There has not been any evidence that it exists in humans or mammals in general.
Yeah.
But of course, these guys are like, oh, yeah, it's true. There's scientific data out there. And Louis like, this is the this is the fucking misinformation that's being spread online. This is like literally what's happening right here.
Yeah.
This is the problem.
100%.
Whatever. Afterwards, Louis pulls Myron aside to talk about their previous interaction involving Angie and asking if he wanted her to be omitted from the documentary and like what all this is stemming from and everything. And he just very clearly states that it's both of them saying that he doesn't want her a part of it and like that's just it. And I think that might be like one of their last interactions. I don't fucking remember.
Between, was it Myron?
Myron and Louis.
And Louis? Okay.
So moving on, Louis begins to analyze the way that these guys and the female influencers that they collab with, like how they all just use each other to gain more visibility and attention online. And he points out the hypocrisy in a lot of them, specifically the men who preach traditional values, but then they'll also go out and spend time with and post with scantily clad women and OnlyFans models. But then when they speak to these women, they'll go quickly, like from hitting on them to then telling them that they're being disgusting for being OnlyFans models. Like they're just so.
But that's what you're promoting.
You're so fucking stupid.
Yeah.
You're so dumb.
Very hypocritical.
HS though, I mean, at least he'll be straight up about his hypocrisy, which like, I mean, doesn't give him any more value or anything, just pointing that out. But he straight up tells Louis that he like what he's doing is all for clout, you know, regarding the OnlyFans models.
Yeah.
And And then he specifically refers to a video that he did with Bonnie Blue, the woman who has gained notoriety for allegedly sleeping with 1,000 men in one day.
Jesus Christ.
HS tells Louis that, he does it for the clout. He doesn't care about the contradiction. He doesn't care about the morality, about any of it, but all that makes him money. So that's why he promotes it. And then Louis is like, well, why not just try to be a good person? And HS says that, that's a good question. But if he had just done good things, he wouldn't have blown up on social media in the first place. And he wouldn't have all that he does. So essentially saying that it pays well to be a dick and he's going to continue doing it, whether he really believes the shit he says or not.
Problem with the world.
Yep. And so at this time, Louis also learns about the House of Heat, which is a hub for OnlyFans content creators to live together and create content together and cross promote on each other's platforms. And because HS is he owns the house, I think, he gets a cut of each of their income. So they then go to a beach club where HS introduces Louis to an OnlyFans model named Ellie Nuts, who started off on TikTok as the sexy plasterer before building her platform on OnlyFans. She says that she feels like she knows HS quite well, and she thinks that he's a genuine, funny guy. And when she's asked how she would feel if she found out that he had judgmental views of OnlyFans, she said that she doesn't care about other people's opinions because she's comfortable with her decisions, which, good for you, girl.
Yeah.
And during this whole conversation...
Why would you care what this fucking guy thinks?
Exactly. I'd be like, literally don't give a fuck about what you have to say.
Yeah. You don't even like yourself.
You spew bullshit day and night. Yeah. So what does it fucking matter what you have to say?
You don't even like yourself. Why would I care what you think about me?
Yeah. So it doesn't really matter. But during this whole conversation, HS is live streaming, which Louis notices that he's been doing a lot more since they first started talking. And it turns out that he was getting paid £300 per hour, depending on the size of the audience. So he was just trying to keep the content exciting, keep the views up. And soon enough, HS and his team suddenly run off, and Louis tries to find out what they're doing. Apparently, one of HS's minions set up a sting with an older guy online, aiming to humiliate him on the live stream. And watching the live stream from a distance, Louis sees that the man arrives and they approach him quickly. But when the guy realizes that it's a setup and tries to leave, HS's followers attack him. They begin kicking him and punching him and filming it all on the live stream. And they do this all under the accusation of the man being a predator, which Louis has no way of proving, so he doesn't really know how to respond to what's happening.
Right.
But he ends up catching up with HS after he's left the scene, and HS is already denying any responsibility in the matter. He's like, oh, I didn't touch him. That didn't go as planned. You can't just do that to a random person. He was supposed to show up and we'd call the police and then they'd have him arrested. But
none of your videos do that though. They're all just you just beating people up.
Yeah, I'm you didn't contact the police either. You never had any plan to do what you said just now that you were going to do.
Yeah.
You're just trying to deny any accountability so that if the cops do show up, you can say you didn't do anything.
Well, not even true, because it's all on camera.
Well, yeah, that's what I was going to say next, is that even though he deleted the stream saying that he just didn't want it on the internet, his online team had already clipped the short snippets and began posting them online.
So, if they really wanted to go after him criminally, they fucking absolutely could, because your entire life is either on a live stream or whatever. It's online.
Yeah. Yeah.
Again, why the fuck aren't these people locked up?
I don't know.
Or canceled at the very fucking least.
So as the day carried on, so did the live streaming, and HS begins speaking to women on the street. And then he begins using Louis for content, specifically asking him about Jimmy Savile. Jimmy Savile was a highly influential British media personality, and after his death in 2011, it was revealed that he was one of the UK's most prolific predatory sex offenders. And this was after it had been a rumor for years, I guess, with formal investigations concluding that he sexually abused up to 500 victims, aged 2 to 75 over 6 decades. That's what it said online.
Okay.
I don't know. That's what I looked up.
Interesting. Why wouldn't there... Anyways.
like from what I understand is that he had this like really good guy persona, and because of like the things that he would document, he was able to get into places where there was like a lot of vulnerable people. So like into hospitals and things like that. And through that, that's how he was able.
Criminal charges were brought up until after he was fucking dead.
Apparently, like I said,
That's
apparently
crazy.
it was. I didn't look super far into it because I was doing all this. I still don't know a whole lot about it. But from what it said, that there was like, there was rumors about it when he was alive, but like nothing was proven, I guess.
So what's the connection between the guy that did the documentary? What's his name?
Yeah, well, Louis says, you know, he's like, I had a hand in exposing him when he was still alive, but like we're certainly not friends.
Oh, okay.
And well, I guess that he had done, I forgot what it was. He had done a documentary where he spent some time with Jimmy Savile, and I think in that time he asked him about the rumors. And Jimmy was just like, oh, no, that's just like, it's all fake. It's just all lies, blah, blah, blah. And then later after he died, Louis made another one where he like went and talked to some of his victims, I guess, and was like,
okay.
I don't know. I read like brief little blurbs about it.
That's how he had a hand in exposing him.
Yeah, but that's why, you know, they were like, oh, ask about Jimmy Savile, ask him about that. And he's like, I did this piece or whatever, you know, like I did my fucking job. We're not friends, and he's dead now.
I did exactly what I'm doing right now.
Exactly. Yeah, but they're all trying to act like it's some gotcha. And, you know, then HS even tries to slip in real quick. He's like, oh yeah, you guys used to have freak-offs, didn't you? And he's like, all right, let's go hit the punch machine. So
what is this, a fucking Diddy party?
Exactly. Yeah. Well, that's what I'm saying, is that he's trying to use that as like a fucking moment.
Yeah.
So they go over to the punching machine, whatever. Anyway, HS puts on a show, and then he ends up mocking Louis for his punch afterwards. And so now that HS has gotten a decent amount of bits of Louis in the live stream, his online cronies started putting together clips that spread like wildfire on social media. Interestingly enough, though, there were plenty of comments coming through telling HS that he was going to get canceled, that Louis was making this hit piece and he better watch his back, and that they were going to make him look like a clown. So HS starts to spiral a little bit.
Do you, at the end of this, do you cover what came of this documentary?
What do you mean?
Like, did that actually happen? Does it happen?
No.
Oh, okay, never mind.
No.
Okay.
So he starts to spiral a little bit, and he starts putting out all these videos calling out Louis Theroux, calling him a pussy and telling him that he's all these things, and, you know, like saying like, oh, you think I'm a scammer and I'm a racist and I'm a homophobe, but I am all those things. Like, he's just lashing out.
Obviously.
Meanwhile, Louis is, you know, he's highlighting the rise in misogyny online and how it's branching out into the general public, specifically into the schools between boys and young girls. And he believes that it somehow stems back to like how the influencers grew up. And he begins asking himself, was there abuse in the home? Were there fathers present? Cue to him being in Louisiana with Justin talking about his upbringing. And he says that he grew up in an abusive home. Him and his sister were almost removed, and his father was prevented from seeing them. And through their conversation, it becomes pretty clear that the trauma is projecting itself through a distrust of a traditional family life, possibly tying to the one-sided monogamy that he practices.
There it is.
Yep. So
Louis, it's more about like being scared kind of thing.
Pretty much, yeah. So Louis then heads to Justin's Baton Rouge home, where they had at this point recently moved back to. And now he gets to meet Justin's baby mama, Kristen, who is currently pregnant with baby number 3.
Cool.
Although Justin had previously said that he didn't want her on camera, he's had a change of heart. So we learn that Kristen used to be an X-ray tech, but now she's a stay-at-home mom to their 2 children, and then one on the way, obviously. And she explains that the 2 of them have their roles. Justin makes his money, and Kristen does all the household and child duties. And she explains that they each have their own lane, and they don't cross into each other's lane. And she also says that she's not concerned with the one-sided monogamy because in her previous relationship, the guy lied a lot. So this time, at least, Justin tells her what's going on. But she also says that she doesn't need to know. So they have kind of a don't ask, don't tell policy.
Oh, okay.
But then she argues that women want to have a man that other women want. And then, embarrassingly enough, Louis asks if they're married. She says yeah and turns to look at Justin, who then says, I didn't bring the state into it. And when Louis asks if it was because of the financial aspect, he says yeah. So Louis then turns to Kristen and says, that seems more risky for you. And she's like, well, I don't feel like I'm at risk. And Justin pipes up saying, if this ended tomorrow, I would still look at it as successful. It's some of the best years of my life. I have beautiful children, beautiful memories. That's cool for you.
But you could easily walk away the next day.
That's what I'm saying. If you do that, she's now going to have to rebuild as a single mom to 3 kids that you won't help take care of because you never have outside of financial obligations.
I think that's what they intend to do is having all the power and all the cards, right? So like they easily could just like do whatever. They could leave the next day, and that's the fact that you can trust somebody like that is insane to me.
Yeah. Well, she's right where she wants to be because she says that she feels like in her core that's how males and females are supposed to be. So all right, girl, if you like it, I love it.
This sounds like God, what is that term?
Stockholm syndrome?
Yeah, is that it?
I mean,
where you're almost like hypnotized. Like it's like hypnosis.
Well, yeah, he's got a lot of money and you get to do whatever you want while he's out fucking other girls.
Well, right,
so
but like
if it's good for you, then
you're
that's
pretty
fine.
much like agreeing with his you're pretty much using his same mindset, like the Manosphere mindset. Like you're like fully just.
That's why I said she clearly is happy where she's at. So do you, girl. If you like it, I love it.
That's until
good
it goes
fucking luck.
Until it goes south.
That's on you.
Yikes.
On to New York. Here is where Louis has the opportunity to meet with and interview a Manosphere influencer by the name of Sneeko. And he's one of the most notorious red pill shit spewers. He's friends with both the Tate brothers and Myron Gaines, appearing on their podcasts, etc.
Of course they are.
And, he's also been banned from all major social media platforms due to his hate speech and misinformation. Unfortunately, though, his clips still go viral and he has millions of followers.
Oh, God.
He invites Louis into his apartment and explains that he just came from a protest against Elon Musk, where he had worn a ski mask to conduct street interviews, probably because he was down there provoking people. Anyway, he says that he believes he and his fellow Manosphere buddies should get some credit for reinstilling some balance between what's truthful and what's not, using the gender laws as an example.
Jesus.
And we see that he has tied his gender politics in with the typical spiritual packaging because he has recently converted to Islam. And now he's documenting that journey as well. And while they're out walking in the streets of New York, Sneeko is approached by some young, clearly impressionable fans. And when Louis asks if they can tell him about Sneeko, they say that people heard some bad things, but they heard him out, so they don't think he's a bad guy. And they say he's just controversial online, that's all. No biggie. But while they're walking around, Sneeko is like pointing out all of these things that are satanic or they go against God, specifically the advertisements of half-dressed women. And then later he says that the one-eyed poses are satanic and all of the celebrities are pledging their allegiance to Satan. And he even says that he thinks Satanists are running the world.
People are following this fucking guy?
Yeah. Well, he references an award show where Sam Smith performed his song Unholy, and it included devil horns on his head, dancers dressed as Satan and simulating gay sex. And he carries on saying that there's a Satanist cabal trying to establish a one-world government, and people like the Rothschilds started it. And
you could almost say that the Manosphere is kind of doing that.
Well, I just feel like his views and conspiracies are so ironic. Like, he disavows the red pill ideologies, but he continuously pushes equally destructive conspiracy theories.
Yeah.
And Like, these guys believe that the people that are running the world are doing so in a way that's meant to damage them and destroy them, the men specifically, but then they turn around and worship the males in government who are running things and ruining things.
Yeah.
Got it. Okay. So really, it was just very mind-numbing to watch them spew all of their bullshit. Jesus. And then, you know, when Louis like, okay, well, who do you think's doing this? Who do you think is to blame? They're all like, the Jews.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were the whole manosphere against the Jews, right?
Yeah. Just like literally everything that they say.
Again, how are these people not fucking canceled? How do you have millions of people that are fucking... This is the problem with the Liver Kings of the world and the Manosphere fucking people of the world. And like, you are targeting very... is it influential people? Impressionable. Yes. Very impressionable people. And like, that's what you're thriving on. And you're like, you're doing a disservice to everything.
Well,
to society.
I said that like, they're just say shit that's been bird fed to them by the previous guy. And then they just chew it up some more and then spit it right into the next guy's mouth. And they just keep going down the line and that's God. Like, that's the Manosphere. As a whole.
That's what they do on their podcast.
Yes. Anyway, it's been 2 months now since Louis invested in HS's online app that he promotes. And Louis initially invested 500 pounds and followed the advice on the app for trading. And now his money is almost gone. Meanwhile,
sounds about right.
HS has been going on a rampage against Louis since their time together.
And he feels threatened. Of course he is.
Well, yeah, it's becoming quite apparent he's afraid of being exposed. And although he's been posting these videos, Louis takes one last chance to meet with him to speak about everything. And when Louis shows up, we see that HS's mom, Elaine, is there visiting him. And I tried to give her credit in the beginning when he first started talking about her, but she's so fucking contradictory herself. Like, it's no wonder why he is the way that he is. Because she'll somewhat push back on the things that he says or like his views that, you know, Louis will point out, but then she'll almost immediately follow it with a rebuttal to her own original thought. Like,
how are you going to argue with yourself?
Yes. And like, just say that you don't care about what he's doing because he's paying for you to do shit now.
Probably.
Just say that.
That's what I mean. Money runs the fucking world.
Yes, that's all it is. That's literally all it is. That's why you got all these fucking yes men around you. Yes, that's right there. So Louis keeps pressing HS about like the homophobic and anti-Semitic things that he's been saying. And HS is like, oh, I'm just clip farming. I don't truly believe that. I just say that stuff for clicks. And he's like, I have a gay mate. I have, you know, this guy that's filming right now, he's Jewish. Have I said fuck the Jews? Yeah. I don't mean it. Like, yeah, he's just straight up saying, he's like, I don't mean any of the shit that I say. But
you're giving advice to these fucking people.
And then when Louis asks how he feels about the kids that watch his content, he's like, oh, no, that's the parents' fault. I've told 13-year-olds not to watch my stuff. Which, yes,
that's
it
your
is.
Target audience.
Yes.
You fucking dumbass.
Exactly. And it is the parents' responsibility to check that shit. But the point is, you're saying things that you also claim to not believe in and not support, but that's the persona that you're putting out online. That's what people know you for. That's what people like you for. And that's the fucking problem. Yeah. But he simply says he's just playing the game of life and he's playing it well. And you know what?
No, you're not. You're bringing toxicity to the world.
Yes. Yeah.
You're doing a huge disservice to society.
Yes.
You're doing nothing good.
Yeah.
Except lining your pockets. Yeah.
And, you know, I love, though, how when Louis starts asking about, like, the legal issues that HS has, because he's been on the run since the car crash he had in March 2024. And good. So he starts getting all defensive and upset. And then his mommy steps in and asks Louis, well, if you don't agree with what Harrison's doing, then why are you making money off of it on a program by publicizing it? Like trying to say that Louis is doing the same thing that Harrison is.
Trying to expose your fucking shithead son. Yeah. That's what I'm doing.
Well, then HS suddenly switches the conversation to try to get Louis in a compromising position because, like, recall, he has his little crony live streaming the whole thing. And I don't know if I said that before, but he was recording the whole interaction from the time that Louis got to the house, or before the time that Louis got to the house, I should say. And HS just starts calling Louis a puppet and tells him that he doesn't need to do all of the editing that Louis does, and basically just gives like a final send off on the live stream, telling his followers to only believe what he has to say and not believe anything that Louis has to say.
Oh, good.
And at the end of it all, Louis leaves and he ends up finding time to catch up on the live stream that HS was filming while Louis was there. And he ended up finding kind of an interesting clip from before his arrival that shows an interaction between HS and his mommy where he's whining about not wanting a juice. And she's like telling him how to clean up the floor before Louis arrives. So I don't know. Maybe that was possibly to show that at the end of the day, maybe they're all just little boys that still whine to their moms.
It sounds like, sounds like it.
And at the end of the film, Louis includes...
Well, that's interesting, though, because he doesn't say that's... I don't know why, but that stood out to me in the beginning when you said verbatim... I forget verbatim what you said, but it was teaching boys how to be boys. Mm-hmm. I found that very interesting that he used that phrasing, especially since you're acting like a little boy.
Yeah.
You know?
He literally, in the clip, his mom, she's like, that juice place that you like down there, go down and get juice. And he's like, Mommy, I don't want juice.
Clean up the floor.
Yeah. Well, she's like, oh my God,
child.
Give me the towel. This is how you clean it up.
So
like,
funny.
You are a grown-ass man and you don't know how to clean up your floor.
Well, let's not get too crazy with that phrase.
Like,
grown-ass man is very...
Yeah, you're right. You're right. That was too much credit. Well, at the end of the film, Louis includes little updates on each person that he interviewed. And HS had returned to the UK where he was arrested after spending nearly a year on the run and eventually received a 1-year suspended custodial sentence for dangerous driving and driving without insurance.
Oh, good.
Angie left Myron and he cried about it on his podcast.
Yes.
Sneeko was unbanned from YouTube. I don't fucking know why.
Yikes.
And Louis earned himself a new personal best on the punching machine with a score of 882.
There you go.
Yeah.
That's funny.
So, what did you think of the documentary?
It was pretty awful to watch. Yes. This whole Manosphere thing is fucking embarrassing to know that it's a thing. I mean, I'm not surprised though, because like I said, this is the problem with like the Liver Kings and the Manosphere fucking followers and stuff like that. Your target audience are people that their brains aren't fully developed. Mm-hmm. And the fact that you're spreading this toxicity and this hate speech and all this other stuff and imprinting on these people, and they're, millions of followers and everything, and you're charging people for it. And like, it sounds like all of you have criminal cases too. Like, how are you fucking teaching anybody how to do anything?
I don't know.
It's it was definitely a hard watch. I don't know.
It was a really hard watch. Yeah, as you know, I was like, I need more time because I was having a really hard time just getting through it. I think truly we need to see another side of this world, and I think women, especially, we know the consequences of the Manosphere because typically we're the target. But I think that it would be good to see more conversation about like. It's just frustrating. When he was talking about their backgrounds and how their trauma could be affecting their views, I felt like it was starting to kind of excuse their behavior. And I feel like it's starting to come up a little bit more recently that people I've seen in other podcasts that they're like, oh, well, what went wrong? How can we help them? How can we rehabilitate them? What do we need to do to make it easier for them? Yeah, in regards to that and like their views and stuff. And like, I think that there needs to be a lot more in your face examples of the consequences of these views. I truly don't think that they need sympathy and understanding. I think that they know what they're doing. And I think that it makes them feel big and powerful when they're doing it in their fucking man circles. And realistically, I think that it's going to take other men to start speaking up and speaking out against this shit because, let's face it, if it comes from a woman, they're not going to fucking give her the time of day.
Yeah, and I'm sure there are those people out there that speak against this. There's not, I don't know any men that think this way. I think that's why it's a documentary because, like I said, just the toxicity that's involved in it. But I do want to go back, though, and I don't entirely agree that women are the target. I think they are definitely a
No, I'm not saying the target audience. I'm saying we're generally
no,
the target
I know
of
what
the
you're
behavior.
saying. I know what you're saying.
Oh, okay.
I don't, and I think that is part of it, but I think even more so the target is the younger minds, right? The ones that aren't developed and stuff like that. I think that's really the target, and that's very dangerous.
No, that's what
an
I
entire
meant.
generation,
Yeah.
you know, that you're influencing with this toxicity, and they're gonna come up believing the same bullshit, right?
Yeah.
So I think you have a good point that you know, more needs to be, and I'm glad that Louis made this fucking documentary too, you know, because this needs to be in conversation more. Like this behavior, it's gonna continue.
I think,
but it needs to be what, nipped in the bud.
oh yeah,
thing. It
needed to be
like,
nipped in the bud years ago.
Like you need to if you see this, hear this, whatever, just fucking speak against it, because this is fucking nonsense.
When you see your buddies making these dumbass jokes and like saying fucked up things, say something.
Yeah.
Don't just be like, huh.
Don't just allow the hate speech to fucking continue.
Yeah, you have to say something, because like what I meant, I didn't mean like women are the target audience. I meant like obviously those younger minds are the target audience. Women are typically the target of the attacks from that audience, is what I'm saying. Is like because they have these hateful views and shit like that.
I can see that.
That's what I meant.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm saying that it takes men to stand up and say something to these other men, because the way that they already speak about to all these things towards women, they're not listening to us anyway.
Well, also even men that aren't seen as their equal as well would be targets, you know.
I mean, but they'll
in the same fashion
take a little bit more time to listen to something that another man has to say versus something that a woman has to say.
Oh, I don't know. They're so far up the fucking stream that they probably don't even, you can't really talk them down, you know what I mean?
I mean,
but you can definitely do a lot to stop the hate speech and the spread of this fucking the followers and stuff like that. Like, the fact that they have so many followers is definitely frightening. It's not surprising, but it's definitely frightening, because that means a lot of people are agreeing with this fucking nonsense, and that's insane.
Yep.
I mean, the followers are part of the fucking problem.
Exactly.
Like
exactly. It is a circle.
and that's what I mean too, is that's why I don't believe in cancel culture, because this should have been canceled long ago. But it continues to run rampant, you know, and it just continues to grow. And that's part of the fucking problem.
I agree. Yeah. Well, all that being said, we are definitely doing something lighter for May, because this one annoyed the fuck out of me. Oh my God.
Yeah, I miss doing stuff like
I need to
poop,
find
like the poop
funny
cruise.
ones.
That was a good one. What was the park one?
Class Action Park.
Class Action Park. That was a good one.
We need to get back to those.
Yeah,
this one made me
exactly.
Mad.
Something that's a little more enjoyable for you.
Well, guys, let us know what you think of the documentary and the episode. Did you watch both? Do you support the Manosphere? Do you abhor it? I'm going to need you to be the latter. I'm just saying.
Please do.
You will not be welcomed here.
Yeah.
If you are a part of the former, I'm letting you know.
Yeah.
So tell us your thoughts.
That's fair.
Do you have anything else that you'd like to add in?
No, I would say go check out I think Louis did a great job, and obviously the production team and all that kind of stuff. I think they did a great job putting this documentary together, and it sheds a lot of light on the unfortunate situation that
watch
we're
it with
currently
the
in.
stress ball.
Exactly. Yeah. But definitely check it out. It's definitely worth the education and seeing kind of what we're up against.
Yeah.
So that's
all right. Well, that's all I've got for this episode of Rants on the Rocks. As always, if you're enjoying listening to the podcast, please like, share, comment, subscribe, all that jazz. And aside from YouTube, Spotify, and Apple, you can find us on Facebook, Instagram, School, and TikTok, all under the Ranting Podcast. So find us everywhere and come chit chat. I don't know. I guess until next time.
Yeah.
Keep ranting and come tell us about
There
it.
it is.
Okay, bye.
Okay, bye.